The following sequence unfolds near the edge of a forest in the Vovchansk direction, where a Ukrainian reconnaissance drone detects a Russian soldier moving away from the tree line toward an open grass field. His position is quickly relayed, and a Ukrainian FPV drone arrives to search the surrounding area. Hearing the aircraft nearby, the soldier drops to the ground and points his weapon outward, apparently preparing to defend himself while remaining unaware that reconnaissance is still tracking him from above. The FPV drone soon identifies his position and begins approaching gradually across the field. Once the soldier finally sees the aircraft closing in, he repeatedly fires upward in an attempt to stop it. The drone continues along its approach despite the response, steadily reducing the distance until the operator maintains alignment and commits to the final attack. The following sequence unfolds near a heavily damaged area, where a Russian soldier is seen running across exposed ground in apparent panic. A Ukrainian FPV drone nearby quickly identifies his movement and begins following from behind. Focused entirely on reaching the surrounding ruins, the soldier continues running without realizing that the aircraft is steadily closing the distance. Only during the final moments does he appear to notice the threat approaching from above, but by then, the FPV drone is already at close range and commits to the final attack. The following sequence unfolds across an open grass field in the Pokrovsk direction, where a Ukrainian FPV drone is conducting a routine patrol. While scanning the terrain, the operator suddenly detects two Russian soldiers attempting to cross the exposed field. The drone immediately changes course and begins closing the distance. As the aircraft approaches, one soldier recognizes the threat and attempts to counter it with his weapon, but the response fails to disrupt the drone's flight. Maintaining visual contact and a controlled approach, the FPV drone rapidly closes the remaining distance and commits to the final attack. The following strike unfolds over eastern Ukraine, where a Ukrainian Su-27 crew is tasked with engaging a reported Russian military position. Approaching the designated area, the aircraft releases a precision-guided bomb toward the identified location. The munition follows its guided trajectory before striking the position below, demonstrating how precision air-delivered weapons continue to support Ukrainian operations against fixed military targets behind the front line. The following sequence unfolds inside a forest in the Kupiansk direction, where a Ukrainian FPV drone is sent to search for a Russian soldier after reconnaissance identifies movement in the area. The operator enters the tree line and begins navigating carefully through the vegetation, following the reported location. Almost immediately, the drone spots the soldier moving close to the base of a tree and quickly redirects toward him. Below, the soldier continues moving without realizing how close the aircraft has already come. Only when the FPV drone rapidly closes the remaining distance does he suddenly notice the approaching threat. But by then, there is almost no time left to react before the drone commits to the final attack. Two Russian soldiers stand beside a bush, apparently discussing something and completely unaware of the approaching threat. From a distance, a Ukrainian FPV drone closes in unnoticed, rapidly reduces the distance, and commits to the final attack. The following sequence unfolds across an open grass field in the Pokrovsk direction, where a Russian soldier is seen running in panic as a Ukrainian FPV drone closes in behind him. Under constant pressure from the approaching aircraft, the soldier repeatedly changes direction, attempting to create distance and disrupt the drone's approach. At one point, he even tries throwing nearby objects, including what appears to be his helmet, toward the aircraft in an effort to force it away. The drone continues tracking every sudden movement while maintaining control of the pursuit. After several moments of maneuvering, the operator finds a clear approach, rapidly closes the remaining distance, and commits to the final attack. The following sequence unfolds near Ukraine's southern border, where a Ukrainian reconnaissance drone detects two Russian soldiers approaching a barbed wire fence. After reaching the obstacle, both men pause and search for a way across. One soldier eventually uses his weapon for support and begins carefully climbing over. Before he can finish, a Ukrainian drone approaches and strikes near the second soldier. Both remain mobile afterward, and the first soldier continues until he reaches the opposite side. Moments later, a bomber drone arrives overhead and releases another munition toward his position. The soldier appears injured in the leg and drops into the grass, unable to continue moving normally. Aerial observation remains fixed on the exposed location, and within seconds, the drone realigns above him and releases another munition toward the position. The following sequence unfolds deep inside a dense forest in the Donetsk region, where a Ukrainian FPV drone operator is sent to locate a Russian soldier previously detected by reconnaissance. Flying low beneath the tree canopy, the drone carefully navigates between trunks and branches while systematically scanning likely hiding positions. For some time, nothing appears unusual, but the operator continues deeper into the vegetation rather than abandoning the search. Eventually, the drone notices a shallow depression partially concealed beneath what appears to be anti-drone fabric. Hidden underneath, the missing soldier is finally identified. As the aircraft moves closer to confirm the position, the soldier suddenly realizes that his concealment has failed. With little room to relocate, he grabs a nearby branch and attempts to push the approaching FPV drone away. The operator quickly adjusts around the obstacle, maintains control through the trees, closes the remaining distance, and commits to the final attack. According to released footage, the war across the Pokrovsk and Donetsk sectors remains intense, with persistent drone surveillance continuing to shape how infantry operates near the front line. Ukraine's 414th Unmanned Systems Brigade, known as the Birds of Magyar, reportedly launched hundreds of drones over several days to locate and engage Russian troops attempting to establish or reinforce defensive positions. Across the footage, a recurring pattern becomes visible. Individual Russian soldiers are detected moving through open fields, damaged settlements, tree lines, and isolated defensive positions, often with little visible support nearby. Some attempt to conceal themselves behind trees, inside drainage pipes, beneath disabled vehicles, or within thick vegetation. Others rely on motorcycles to move quickly between positions. From ground level, these choices may provide temporary concealment or mobility, but persistent reconnaissance from above makes remaining unseen increasingly difficult. Once movement is detected, reconnaissance drones can continue tracking the area, while FPV teams are directed toward the last known position. Even when a soldier disappears beneath vegetation or behind battlefield debris, operators can change altitude, adjust viewing angles, and continue searching until movement becomes visible again. The footage also demonstrates the tactical problems facing isolated infantry when aerial observation is combined with rapid FPV deployment. Without nearby counter-drone protection, electronic warfare support, or coordinated assistance, crossing even a short section of exposed terrain can reveal a soldier's location. Motorcycles may increase speed, while trees and abandoned structures may provide temporary cover, but neither guarantees that aerial tracking has ended. Taken together, the following sequence unfolds among heavily damaged ruins, where a Ukrainian bomber drone detects a Russian soldier attempting to remain concealed inside the debris. After confirming the position from above, the operator releases a munition toward the identified location. A short distance away, another Russian soldier reacts to the engagement and quickly runs toward a nearby grass field, apparently hoping the vegetation will provide temporary concealment. The drone maintains observation, tracks his movement, and releases another munition toward the new position. The operation continues as the aircraft searches across the surrounding terrain and identifies additional concealed positions among the ruins and vegetation. One after another, the operator confirms each location before releasing further munitions, maintaining continuous aerial pressure across the area as the sweep continues. According to released footage, Ukraine's 422nd Unmanned Systems Regiment and the SBU's Alpha Special Operations Center carried out a large-scale drone operation across Russian-occupied Crimea, with support from the HUR's 3rd Directorate. More than 50 unmanned aircraft were reportedly deployed within a single day to locate, track, and engage Russian military infrastructure across the peninsula. A major focus of the operation was a Russian missile and artillery weapons depot associated with forces attempting to establish and reinforce defensive positions in the occupied territory. The operation reportedly relied on Zozulya medium-range unmanned systems, allowing Ukrainian operators to reach targets well beyond the immediate front line. Reconnaissance and attack elements work together to identify activity around the storage area, confirm relevant positions, and maintain observation before strikes were carried out. The footage highlights the increasingly important role of coordinated long-range drone operations in Crimea. Rather than focusing exclusively on frontline positions, these missions place pressure on weapon storage, logistics, and defensive infrastructure deeper behind the battlefield, forcing military assets far from direct combat zones to operate under the continuing threat of aerial detection and attack. According to released footage from the Lyman airspace, Ukraine's Signum unit deployed around 30 drones in a single day to intercept Russian unmanned aircraft conducting reconnaissance and searching for potential Ukrainian personnel and equipment. The operation shows how quickly drones themselves can become detectable once overlapping aerial surveillance is established. Russian reconnaissance and attack drones attempt to move through the contested airspace, but experienced Ukrainian operators continuously scan their routes, identify individual aircraft, and redirect interceptor drones toward them. One by one, the detected drones are engaged before they can complete their intended missions. The footage highlights a growing reality of modern warfare around Lyman, where drones are no longer used only against ground positions. Increasingly, unmanned aircraft are being deployed against other drones, creating another layer of aerial defense intended to reduce threats to infantry and equipment operating below.